Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
We're learning Mishna Sotah, Parak Test, Chapter 9, Mishnah Daled, Mishnah 4. So the Mishnah says, "May ayin hayu moedidin." From where did they measure? Now, what this means here is, as we know, they have to measure from the corpse to the closest city. You found this dead body. You don't know who killed. Torah says you got to measure to the body to the closest city. So, from what part of the body do we measure? Which part? That's what it means, may ayin hayu moedidin. From where, meaning from which part of the body did they measure? Rabbi Eliezer oimer mitiburoi. Rabbi Eliezer says you measure from the navel. Rabbi Akiva oimer mechotmai. Rabbi Akiva says from the nose. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov oimer mimakim Mishna Sotah mitzavaroi. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says from the place from which it becomes a chalal, which we'll translate very loosely now as the dead body, which means mitzavaroi from his neck. Okay, so now let's go through each opinion. Rabbi Eliezer says you measure from the navel. That means that it means the town that's closest to his navel, that is the town that has to bring the egla arufa. You know, if you were to have his head was from, let's use head, right? His head was closer to one town, right? And the navel is closer to a different town. Rabbi Eliezer says, which one do you follow? From the navel. What's it about the navel that's so important? So they explain here, and this is, I believe, coming from the Rambam's commentary on the Mishnah. The navel is in the area of the stomach and other digestive organs, from which nourishment spreads to the rest of the body. The measurement is thus made from there, since Rabbi Eliezer holds that digestion is the most important bodily function that keeps a person alive. He has a focus on digestion, the nourishment. The fact that a person gets nourished from this part of the body, that's where they get their nourishment from, that he therefore considers the most important part of the body, or as they call this, the most important bodily function that keeps a person alive. And therefore, when you have to measure from the part of his body when he's not alive anymore, you measure from, let's call it what Rabbi Eliezer considers the most important part of the body. Rabbi Akiva says from the nose. Why the nose? So according to Rabbi Akiva, breathing is the most important life-giving function. And so the measurement is made from the part of the body used to breathe, which is the nose. So therefore, I mean, we're going to deal with a part of the body that's, so to speak, on the outside and the surface of the body. And being that breathing, according to Rabbi Akiva, is the most important life-giving function, as they explain that here. Therefore, the measurement goes from the nose. The Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, the third opinion, he's coming from a different place. His wording is from the place where he became a cholol. Now, what that means is like this: when the Torah talks about the dead body that's found, it calls it a cholol. That's what it calls it. That's the word used for a dead body, cholol. And according to Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, the word cholol is referring to someone who was beheaded, which they translate as, that is, his neck was cut or broken. Therefore, the Torah's requirement that we measure from the cholol implies that we do so from the neck. Meaning the Torah's example of the dead body, the Torah calls it cholol. That means the example used is someone that was, killed by at his head. He was beheaded. And that happens at the neck. So being that the Torah chose the word cholol to describe, that's the example used for this dead body, the Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says that's telling us that being the Torah calls it a cholol means someone that was beheaded. That means from the neck. Therefore, the Torah is telling us that where do you measure from? If you're measuring where the cholol is closest to, then you're going to be measuring from where he is called a cholol, which is from the neck. So that's what Rabbi Yaakov's opinion as to which part of the body we measure from. And the Bartanura says the halacha is like Rabbi Akiva, that we measure from his nose.
From where?
Nose. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.